This girl never imagined that the full-level game account she secretly created would one day bring her the opportunity to escape from singlehood. After learning that the boy she had a crush on in real life was playing the same game as her and was being besieged by a group of famous players, she chose to strike hard without any hesitation. Not only did he block the killing moves of 4 high-end players with one blow, but he also blocked one of them in an instant, quite like a situation in which one man was able to block all the attacks. However, this scene left the male protagonist confused. Just when he was wondering whether the other party was an enemy or a friend, the battlefield next to him made him see life. It turns out that Anim has a killer move that can kill both of them. It can only be used when the HP is in single digits. And Arthur, who lost the Scarecrow of Retribution, could no longer rebound the spell and could only be taken away by Anim's move. Seeing the most difficult Arthur die, the male protagonist no longer thinks about who the armored man is. If he doesn't leave now, how long will he wait? After realizing that this was an excellent opportunity to escape, he kicked his nose into his face without hesitation, said sorry to the armored man, and then jumped away gracefully. This scene not only confused Saiga, but also the famous player next to her was dumbfounded. But once the male protagonist enters the town, they have no chance to assassinate him again. After realizing that they had to stop them, the boss unexpectedly gave them another blow. Although he didn't know what was going on, the male protagonist knew that the man in armor was his friend when he saw this, but this was not the time when they knew each other. After remembering that this person's name was Sokka, he ran in hastily. Town. But what they didn't know was that at this time, Saiga heart could not calm down for a long time. This scene also confused the famous players. Although they didn't know what happened, the dumb armored man made them realize that this was an opportunity for revenge. Unexpectedly, just as he was about to take action, something unexpected happened. Little did they know that Saiga was even angrier than them at this time. Although the few unlucky guys in front of her gave her a chance to show off, but because of this, the situation at this time made it impossible for her to get to know the male protagonist further. At the same time, the male protagonist who returned to the town on the other side was teleported to the rabbit country again. After all, this place has a unique plot exclusive to him, which also means that he is now in absolute safety. But what he didn't expect was that Arthur sent him a message, and the purpose was to ask him to meet and have a chat. But it was not about the current game, but the other game that the two of them played together before. Although Arthur had learned from the past and wanted to kill him just now, after all, they were not meeting in this game. Out of curiosity, the male protagonist chose to agree. But before that, he wanted to experience the unique plot first. Amal had previously said that he would train him personally, and the male protagonist was very curious about what the NPC's training was. Fortunately, although Amal was out for business at this time, he had told Amal the method. It turns out that the so-called exercise is fighting in the arena. The male protagonist needs to defeat 10 monsters here, but except for lethal weapons, other weapons cannot be used. But it goes without saying that the male protagonist will do it. After all, he can't wear armor and he only has this weapon. He is full of confidence in this trial. He will secretly become stronger here and then surprise everyone when he goes out. But that's it. After the first monster appeared, the male protagonist was confused. It turns out that the monster in the first round is called the Majority Hound. More than 5 of them must appear at the same time. This setting is very foul. The average level of the Key Hound is still 65. You must know that he is only level 30 now. Although he died at the beginning, the good thing about the player is that he cannot die, which also means that he can challenge the game without any limit. Unknowingly, it was already his 7th challenge, and being beaten by groups many times also allowed him to figure out the monster's action pattern. The real tricky thing about these hounds is not their numbers or levels, but their fully coordinated attacks. But because of this, there must be a leader who is responsible for commanding. As long as he is found, he can disrupt the rhythm of the hounds. And soon one of them attracted the male protagonist's attention. Seeing that this one stayed in a safe area and was only responsible for flying, he immediately realized that it was the commander. The monster's reaction after attacking with the spiral blade without hesitation also confirmed it. Confused by the male protagonist's guess, he didn't fight back but ran away in panic. Although other hounds immediately surrounded him, they were nothing more than a pile of scattered sand without organization. The male protagonist cut off a piece of him with his sword, but he was not in a hurry to make up for it. The top priority was to kill the commander with all his strength. Although every attack he made was scraping, he finally got what he wanted after many critical hits. After losing the existence of the leader, the hounds without a commander are just a bunch of rabble. The male protagonist quickly completed this challenge, and then came the second round, and he wanted nothing more. After killing on it for a long time, it still meant that I had to kill multiple animals. The monsters in the second round had to be fought in addition to bears, but with the experience of hunting hounds, the male protagonist quickly completed it after many attempts, and then followed the same pattern. Although the next monsters have their own characteristics, fortunately, they are not negative every time. Just like this, round after round, the male protagonist quickly passed through 9 rounds, but even after so many roast challenges, his level has only risen 1 level, and the reason for this is thanks to him. After the caller with half experience flashed through countless mythical beasts in his mind, the male protagonist could only endure the challenge and continue the challenge. But just when he was about to start the 10th round, he didn't want to give up but appeared. After admiring the male protagonist for knocking down 9 monsters so quickly, he said that the time was right now. At this time, he just caught a monster to replace it, becoming the hero's opponent in the 10th round. But rather than saying it was just right, the male protagonist understood that this was just an event that was set after defeating 9th. But no matter what the result was, it also showed that the 10th monster he had to face was extremely special, and as expected when he saw it, it looked neither human nor monster. After listening to what he said, the monster in front of him was one of those idiots who wanted to survive by merging with a tree a long time ago. Since the male protagonist cannot be defeated with his current strength, the condition for clearing this level is determined by him, which is to survive for 5 minutes under the direct attack of the tree demon. The male protagonist thought that this was just a piece of cake. After all, it also meant that he could pass by just dodging, but the reality gave him a blow in the head. At this time, the attack launched by the monster caught him off guard. After all, normally all attacks require raising a hand. However, this monster did not. Not only did it activate in a very weird way, but its attack moves were also extremely flexible. Although it was a bit difficult to deal with, the perverted male protagonist quickly enjoyed it, but what he didn't know was. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this.